Hey everybody, I come to you on a waning sturgeon moon on August 7th in the evening, and I just wanted to cover some quick things that have been going on. Real quick, on the Imran Awan case, the IT staffer for the DNC who got caught trying to extort or actually trying to send money overseas to uh, through bank fraud to wire money to entities in Pakistan is actually being defended the by some ex-Clinton lawyers, and they're being funded by the DNC. So the Democrats are funding criminals as usual. So that's a new one. Um, Today, another thing I wanted to cover was these are just quick things I wanted to cover. Oh, by the way, I said sturgeon moon. Sturgeon moon, we're on a waning sturgeon moon, which means that it's not quite 180 degrees off of the sun anymore, so that it's not quite full. It's starting to get a little bit less full, and we have 13 days until August 21st, which is the total eclipse that is going to cut through 12 states in the United States. I'm not going to make my way into the middle there because I try to get away from people during crazy times, and all we need is groups trying to pile into these states just to see the eclipse, and you're going to have madness. So I'm going to stay in California and kind of watch the 60% eclipse from here. I could always go on YouTube and watch the total eclipse later. And don't forget, August 12th is the peak time for the Perseids meteor shower. I'm really into like astronomy, as you can see, and I love to watch the stars. So meteor showers are great. Find a place where there are no city lights, at least not a place where there are like psycho killers where they can get you out in the middle of nowhere, but someplace where you don't get interference from the lights. You can just see the sky for what it is, whether that's the desert or the mountains or a lake or something like that, or even the beach, away from the city. You can see these great streaks of light going through the sky as the meteors pass through our parts of our atmosphere. Beautiful, beautiful sight to see. Now, on the let me just go a little background. Most people don't understand why Donald Trump keeps picking on Attorney General Jeff Sessions. Jeff Sessions, in the beginning, when he was first appointed by Donald Trump, recused himself due to Russian collusion issues. So, whenever the Democrats want to investigate Donald Trump for any type of fake Russian collusion stuff, Jeff Sessions is not the acting attorney general. So this is the whole issue why Donald Trump is pissed off at Jeff Sessions, because he recused himself, and Donald Trump put him in there so that he could act as a proper attorney general and defend the president properly. But by recusing himself, he pulls himself away as attorney general, and in his place, I forgot the guy's name, Rod Rosenstein takes up that position in this particular case. So Rod Rosenstein is the acting attorney general, even though Attorney General Jeff Sessions is still there, and he appointed Robert Mueller as the head of the FBI after James Comey was fired by Donald Trump. So, and Robert Mueller is attached to the Democrats again. So Mueller is not looking for the best interest of President Trump. He's going to do whatever the Democrats want to do. And the Democrats don't care about making America great again. They don't want to do what it takes, even though we're heading into a depression and a hyperinflation of our currency. They're going to do whatever they can to stonewall President Trump's agenda. So all they're going to do is going to keep investigating Russian collusion, even though everybody knows there is no Russian collusion. When President Trump was finally president and he decides to talk to President Putin, you know what? There are actual old footages of President Obama talking to President Medvedev. So Russian president talking to a U.S. president is not collusion. There's nothing strange about that. The reason why Donald Trump is pissed at Jeff Sessions is now Jeff Sessions has recused himself and is not a part of the process. He's allowed a special attorney general to sit in his place for this specific situation, and it doesn't work in the best interest of Donald Trump and the United States. But fortunately, the FBI gave Mueller a warning that he cannot go outside of the realm of the Russian collusion. If they're going to look for Russian collusion, they need to find proof and give that evidence. Mueller's trying to go outside of that and look into the Trump family's finances to try to find criminal activity outside of the election process and the presidential process, things that have nothing to do with his being president. They just want to dig up dirt on Donald Trump so that they can use it against him on the next election, because the Democrats have no platform. They have no issues to stand on. They are criminal, slimy bastards, and they know they won't get elected unless they fling dirt in the traditional political way against the strong opponent and make him look stupid to people who don't know how to do the research. So this is the problem with the special counsel. It's not to find anything of substance on Donald Trump. It's to find dirt to fling at him so that the next election comes around, he will be hurt politically because people don't do their research. I'm experiencing that right now. I've got a corrupt relative that wants to steal money from my family, and they're accusing my family and me of abuse so that we're separated from our relatives, so that nobody can get access to him, so that the corrupt relatives will be able to do whatever they want, and they're making us look bad to all the other relatives who don't do the research or don't even talk to us to find out if we are guilty or if there's anything wrong with that. They just accept the other side's story, and that's the same thing that's going on with Donald Trump. The corrupt people are flinging dirt at him, and people just accept that as fact. They don't even bother to do their own due diligence to find out the truth of the matter. And so it hurts them too in their country, because then they vote for retards who take over at corrupt people. I shouldn't call them retards because they're very smart. They're corrupt. They pander to people by saying, oh, we're going to have jobs for you. We got to help the struggling people. We're going to give you free college. We're going to give you free everything. And everyone buys into that, when reality is nothing in life is free. It always costs someone to make college and an education. So it's going to cost you to pay for it, because somebody has to pay for it. It doesn't happen for free. We don't live in a communism, and even in communism, it doesn't happen. You don't get education. You get education camps where they put you in prisons and they beat the crap out of you until you speak the way the party wants you to speak. Just look at North Korea. They put you in work or labor camps. Look at Venezuela, the socialists there, which are basically communists. It's the same thing. They call it socialism. It's like Bernie Sanders. Democratic socialism is different. No, it's not. Socialism is the same everywhere you go, and it leads to poverty and miseducation and uneducated people, and basically stupid people who are run by educated people and wealthy people. And people think that they're getting out of that system when they run to socialism and to communism, but they're actually going into that system when they run to socialism and communism. So that's what I wanted to cover with the Robert Mueller situation. Now, I said I'm going to cash. What we're witnessing here is a blow-off top in all assets. We've got bubbles in all the assets because the dollar is going in the toilet. I'm constantly seeing the dollar go down, 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 down. I've done that in other videos. And I said I'm going to cash. The reason I'm going to cash on a blow-off top of an asset, because the value of the dollar is going down, the value of the asset is going up, because it's the inverse of the dollar. Everything is priced in dollars. Just think of oil and gasoline. You buy gasoline to fuel your car. You pay dollars for that gasoline. If the value of your dollars goes in the toilet, goes down, the price of the gasoline that you buy with those dollars goes up. In other words, it takes more dollars for you to buy the gasoline, and that's reflected in the price. More dollars that you pay for the gasoline. So we're seeing that in pretty much assets across the board, especially the stock market. So when they keep saying the stock market is hitting records, record here, record there, everybody's like, yeah! Donald Trump, for some reason, I was kind of confused at first why he's taking credit for this. But I believe he realizes the dollar's going in the toilet. He wants a weak dollar because he knows that that's his way of subsidizing our economy outside of the banking system. The banking system does all kinds of printing of money to try to keep the banking system, to keep the economy afloat for the Democrats like Barack Obama. We've never gotten out of our recession from 2008. But they hit it because they pumped steroids, as in printing money, which we don't really print money anymore, but they pumped ones and zeros into the electronic or digital economy to support all of these businesses. And now we're seeing that central banks are buying stocks everywhere. Swiss National Bank is buying Apple stock. They're buying a lot of tech stocks, Amazon. In fact, they own more more Facebook stock than Mark Zuckerberg owns. So the Swiss National Bank owns the tech stocks. You have the Japanese Bank of Japan is buying mostly the Japanese equities. And we've got the Federal Reserve going in and buying our stock market as well. So the central banks around the world are buying, they're printing money and buying into our stock market. We're seeing a crack-up boom, what the Austrian economists call a crack-up boom. Other investment managers will call it a blow off top from a bubble, which means you see the market rise, it dips a little bit, and then it just goes parabolic and blows off the top. You can make a crap load of money in that kind of economy, or in that kind of a market. I don't like it. I like, because the point of it is you're going to get in and then you're just going to have to get out real quick because you don't know where the top is of the blow off. It could go up like that and then it's done, and then super crash down. Or it could go for a long time and you could make a crap load of money. We're seeing it in a lot of assets, even cryptocurrencies. At this point, I don't want to buy cryptocurrencies anymore because if you're not in it, don't worry about it. Wait till they crash, then get into it. It's going to be the next form of money, but right now, that's even in a bubble. When you got Bitcoin at $3,000, $3,300 an ounce, I'm thinking gold, $3,300 per Bitcoin, you know, that's ridiculous. You'd have to take $3,300 to buy one Bitcoin. And if it gets to what, $6,600 a Bitcoin, you've only doubled your money. Ridiculous. I wouldn't go into that kind of investment. There are much better investments to me, like silver. Silver right now is so underappreciated because they're using the derivatives markets to suppress the price of silver to the point where a lot of the producers, the mining companies have gone bankrupt. They've gone out of business. And some of the mining companies are running out of production because the price is so cheap. They have no incentive to produce anymore, and what they have produced is being bought by technology companies. So silver has great potential because the dollar value of silver is going to skyrocket at some point, and all these record short positions are going to have to reverse. You may see a moonshot in silver, and if you're owning the remaining mining stocks, you have to see which mining stocks are still in business by the time this crash occurs, or by the time this blow off occurs in all assets. But if you're in mining stocks, which are pennies right now, or a few dollars per share, they may get into thousands, couple thousands, tens of thousands per share. That is a real opportunity for you to make a lot of money. That to me is a better investment. Or to find blockchain companies, or to find marijuana companies that are still pennies on the dollar right now because everybody's going into the mainstream assets. So the central banks are buying the stock market and setting it to record because they know average Joe investors sitting in cash on the sidelines is too afraid to get in the market. But if they keep seeing every day the markets keep hitting a new record, and their stockbroker says, markets don't crash. They haven't crashed. They crashed back in 2008. They don't crash for like cycles of like 20 years. They'll feed some kind of sales line like that. The people will go, oh, I'm missing out on this market. And they'll get in and they will drive that crack up boom from the market's rallying like this to the market's rallying like this. And that is when the Fed will unwind their balance sheets. They say they're going to unwind their balance sheets, but they didn't tell you exactly when. And you keep getting these mixed messages from the Fed Board of Governors who don't have a consistent message along the line because they want people to be confused, so they act off irrational emotions in terms of investing. So be careful. I'm going to cash. And I said I'm going to cash commodities, and I'm going to stick to that. And I would expect that, certain commodities will do well, other commodities won't. I don't think oil is going to do as well as everyone thinks it will because the petrodollar used to support oil, and now Russia and China are getting off of the petrodollar. So all that's going to do is just send our dollar back here for inflation in other terms. But as oil, I don't know. We're seeing a lot of drop in demand for oil. So you see the price of oil drop. And that's why in California, you're seeing the corrupt Democrats raising gas taxes, because they know that the price of oil and gasoline are dropping, and they still want their money so that they can give themselves pay raises, which is exactly what they did. They raised the gas tax, they raised the gas tax again, then they voted in their own pay raise, and then they raised the gas tax again. So the corrupt Jerry Brown, Kevin DeLeon, Javier Becerra, all these Democrats, Feinstein, all these people that are in California, these Democrats that are running it into the ground, they're taxing us to death while they raise their paychecks. People in California, wake up. The socialism here is driving us crazy. They're going to bankrupt all of us. And then what are you guys going to do? You're going to move out because you think it's better somewhere else, and you can't figure out why. You dummies voted for these Democrats. And they're doing the sanctuary city because they're going to end up separating from the United States, and then they're bankrupt. So what happens? Mexico takes them over, or China takes them over. But I feel with this La Raza, or this it's this movement, the People's Movement. I forgot what it's called. It's a Mexican movement where they're talking. I think it's Aslan, the Aslan movement, of the La Raza people who believe California is still a part of Mexico. They want that. They want to make it a sanctuary state so that they can separate from the U.S. and they go bankrupt, and then Mexico takes it over, and then it becomes part of cartel land. Is that really what you guys want? You want to be run by cartels where then they kill everybody and they run the economy? And I mean, you're really stupid if you think that California separating from the U.S. is a good thing. And I think most of these corrupt people are just they're foreign enemies working in our governments to try to seize land without a war. I mean, it's genius on their part, but for us, it sucks. Okay, so those are the things I wanted to cover. Prepare. I feel like we're getting right to the end now, where the bond bubble is going to crash, credit bubble is going to crash, the student loan bubble is going to crash, the housing bubbles are going to crash, all this debt is going to crash. And when that happens, look out below. You better have a parachute, and you better have some kind of cushion on your butt, because if you don't have any of those set up, you haven't been thinking about all this stuff after all these videos I've been doing, you're set for a hard ass landing. And I mean a hard ass landing, because you're going to land on your ass. If you land on your head, you'll be lucky because you'll be dead instantly. But if you land on your ass, you'll be paralyzed, and you'll still have to live through it. You still have to suffer through it while you die slowly. So I'm saying that to scare the crap out of you, so you start taking action, because I don't think that the greed is motivating you. So I'm going to use the fear to motivate you. Set yourself up and prepare. All right, 17 minutes. I kept it under 20. I'm still cutting it little by little, but I covered a lot of stuff in this video. Thank you for watching me. Thank you for supporting me on Steemit. I am over halfway to my goal of 500 plus followers, and I'm looking forward to doing that giveaway. I'm not going to tell you what it is till we're towards the end. Keep re-steaming my content and upvoting it so that I can increase the amount of money I make. If you support me in that way, it costs you very little but time. But it makes me money so that you can support my channel and the information and the feedback that I give you. And I appreciate all you guys that like my stuff and comment it back. Same thing on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, all the above. I don't know how much longer I'm going to be on YouTube, because it seems like YouTube's cutting, censoring everything. So keep supporting all the good information that's coming around from all the good people. And I pray that you guys prosper in this. This is dangerous times. Giant wealth transfers are going to happen, but if you can position yourself properly, you can benefit from it. Some of the greatest millionaires are made during economic downturns or economic turmoil. If you can educate yourself quickly and position yourself appropriately. But most of all, prepare if you don't know how to do any of that other stuff. Preparation is easy. Get your food, get your water, so that you can protect yourself. Or if it's a knife, get your knife. Prepare all that stuff so that you are good when everyone else is trying to go to the store and the shelves are empty. All right. God be with you. Have a good week. Take care.